stressful environmental condition, bacteria survive because of the formation of the endospores. Okay. Now, bacilli enters endospore formation cycle when the carbon or nitrogen source is getting limited in the growth medium. So, particularly when we are using actually the bacillus culture and we want to observe the sporulation, then obviously we have to design a particular growth medium which will be having the limited supply of carbon or nitrogen source. Now, these endospores are structurally, metabolically, and functionally very different from bacterial vegetative cells. Even though the endospores are formed within vegetative bacterial cells, but the structure of bacterial endospore, the metabolism that is carried out within that bacterial endospore, as well as the function of the bacterial endospore is entirely different than that of the vegetative cell of that bacteria. The endospores can be examined both with the light microscope as well as electron microscope. We can readily observe the bacterial endospores in our light microscope, that is the compound microscope available in our laboratory, as well as we can observe more structural details of the bacterial endospores when we will use the electron microscope. So in our further discussions, when we are discussing the ultrastructure of bacterial endospore, all that structural details are obtained with the help of electron micrograph or electron microscopic study of that endospore. Otherwise, overall, the location as well as the shape and the number of bacterial endospore that can be readily observed by the light microscope. So if we want to only check whether bacterial cells are having endospore or not, whether these are having a single endospore or more than one endospore, whether the location of the bacterial endospore is terminal, subterminal or central. Only this much information can be readily obtained when we observe the bacterial culture under the light microscope. But actually it is thick walled, it is having cortex, it is having exosporium. All that structural details we can get with the electron microscopic studies. Now, whenever we want to observe this bacterial endospore under the light microscope, now your usual protocol is that we go for the staining method. यूजुअली अगर हमें बैक्टीरिया या उसका कोई भी स्ट्रक्चर लाइट माइक्रोस्कोप के अंडर देखना है तो हम क्या करते हैं, उसे स्टेनिंग करते हैं. फ्लैजेल ऑब्जर्व करना है, स्टेनिंग करते हैं. कैप्सूल ऑब्जर्व करना है, स्टेनिंग करते हैं. But here, as the bacterial endospores are impermeable to most stains, they often are seen as colorless areas in bacteria treated with methylene blue and other simple stains. So, special staining endospore stains are used to make them clearly visible. So, if by monochrome staining like technique where we apply a single stain like methylene blue, many a time it happens that bacteria, they are impermeable because they are thick walled structure. So the stain will not percolate within that endospore. So the endospores are not readily stained by the normal dye or normal staining procedure. So it may happen that we can observe only the colorless areas in the bacterial cell as the endospore. So in order to observe the bacterial endospore under light microscope, we have to carry out special staining techniques or staining procedure or technique. The different scientists, they have proposed or they have developed the different staining procedures for the endospore staining. So when you will study in detail the staining unit, the next unit is staining. In that you will go through the details of the different staining procedure. Likewise, you are going to perform the practical also. So the special staining techniques are there. Dorner staining is there, Schiffer-Fulton staining is there. These are meant for the endospore staining. So Schiffer-Fulton staining is most frequently used endospore staining technique. In this staining technique, particularly malachite green is used to stain the bacterial endospore. So whenever this stain is applied, heating is also carried out. Why? Because the bacterial endospores that are impermeable to stain, so readily the stain will not pass into the endospore and endospore will not be stained. So to make that stain to pass through the endospore or to stain the endospore, usually the heating is carried out and comparatively harsh staining treatment is carried out. So here the malachite green is used to stain the endospore. So after the Schiffer-Fulton staining, if you observe the bacterial cell, the cells will be observed pink colored, and within that pink colored, green colored endospores will be observed. So in short, bacterial cells, endospores are refractile and they are not readily stained. So special staining techniques are used. The examples of staining technique that are used to stain the bacterial endospore are the Schiffer-Fulton staining, Dorner staining, and other stainings are also. But preferably in our practical also, we carry out the Schiffer-Fulton staining. Here we use the stain malachite green to stain the bacterial endospore. So along with it, the basic fuchsin is also there. So the bacterial vegetative cell will observe pink colored, and within that pink colored cell, the green dot will be observed. That is the green colored endospore will be observed. Otherwise, we can observe the bacterial endospore under electron microscope also. So the size and shape of the bacterial endospore is such that we can observe it under light microscope as well as electron microscope. Now the different endospore forming bacteria are there. The examples of this mainly is the Bacillus species. Under Bacillus species, that is, there are different bacilli. Under Bacillus, that is the Bacillus anthracis, Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus cereus, Bacillus clausii, Bacillus halodenitrificans. So these are the various members of Bacillus species. All these are gram-positive rod-shaped bacteria. These are members of Bacillus species. So there are variety or the different members of this Bacillus species, that is Bacillus anthracis. It is the causative agent of anthrax disease. Then Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus cereus. Even though it is subtilis, B is silent, so this Bacillus subtilis. Bacillus cereus, it is never read as cereus. It is cereus, so Bacillus cereus, Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus clausii, and Bacillus halodenitrificans. Then another major species which is endospore forming bacteria, that is Clostridium. So here the Clostridium botulinum, Clostridium difficile, as well as Clostridium tetani. All these are endospore forming bacteria. Similarly, Clostridium perfringens and Clostridium sordelli. These are all members of Clostridium. These are gram-positive anaerobic bacteria. These are also rod-shaped. Bacillus is also gram-positive rod-shaped, but it is aerobic bacteria. Clostridium is gram-positive rod-shaped bacteria, but these are strictly anaerobic bacteria. Along with this, another Clostridium members are there, that is Clostridium thermocellum, which is resistant to ethanol, which is mainly carried out for the ethanol production. Clostridium acetobutylicum, mainly it is having the industrial application to produce acetone. Clostridium dualis, that is propanediol. Whatever in our laboratory we use the propanol to convert fatty acids to yeasts. Then thermophilic actinomycetes. There are few species of actinomycete, among which the thermophilic actinomycetes like Thermoactinomyces vulgaris. This is the another example of endospore forming bacteria. Now along with this, there are certain Sporosarcina as well as Lactobacillus, Sporolactobacillus. All the Lactobacillus members are not forming the endospore. Sporolactobacillus is another species which form the endospore. I have not mentioned here the Sporolactobacillus like Sporosarcina, Sporolactobacillus. These are also endospore forming bacteria. So whenever you are asked to give the answer regarding bacterial endospore, no doubt that you have to mention at least a few examples of endospore forming bacterial species. Then finally, the endospore position in the mother cell, it frequently differs among the species. So it is of considerable value in identification. Even though we say that all these bacterial species, they are endospore forming, but the location or the position of the endospore in the vegetative cell, it varies with the species. मतलब अलग अलग बैक्टीरियल स्पेसीज के वेजिटेटिव सेल में एंडोस्पोर का लोकेशन और नंबर वेरी होता है. So many a times the endospore is meant for the identification. That means the endospore formation is of taxonomic significance. It helps us in the identification and classification of particular bacterial species. Okay, so why it is so? Because the location as well as or the position of the endospore, it varies with the species. Now, in certain bacteria, the endospores may be centrally located. That is, the endospore is central in the position. मतलब रॉड शेप बैक्टीरिया है, उसके बीचों बीच सेंटर में एक एंडोस्पोर रहता है. और इट इज क्लोज टू वन एंड, डायरेक्टली एंड को नहीं, एंड से थोड़ा सा अंदर. दैट इज द सब टर्मिनल पोजिशन ऑफ द बैक्टीरियल एंडोस्पोर्स. ओके, और इट इज डेफिनेटली टर्मिनल, या तो एकदम टर्मिनल हो सकता है. Now sometimes an endospore is so large that it swells the sporangium. Okay, it swells the sporangium. कुछ बैक्टीरियल स्पेसीज में बैक्टीरिया जो रॉड शेप है उसके टर्मिनल एंड को एंडोस्पोर प्रेजेंट रहता है, और एंडोस्पोर की साइज इतनी बड़ी रहती है कि उस साइड में वो जो वेजिटेटिव सेल है या स्पोरेंजिया है वो स्वोलन जैसा लिखता है. सो द पोजिशन और द location of the endospore, it varies with the different species. It may be central, it may be terminal, it may be subterminal, or it may be so larger that it appears as the swollen sporangium. So again, it is of taxonomic significance and it will be helpful for identification and classification of the bacterial species. Okay, is it clear to all of you? Now, if you are having any kind of doubt regarding this introduction part of the bacterial endospores,